Okay. Eyes up, Guardians. This is the Twin Stick Guardians official podcast. We are the official Destiny clan for the Twin Stick Radio podcast. I am your fire team leader, Rich. I'm here with my co-hosts and fire team members, Trey.
Hello.
And Chris.
Why are there so many loading screens in Destiny?
Oh.
I forgot we're doing a public event
right now, and it only loads once, and then you just go.
It loads once for 20 minutes.
Hey, I will take a literal 2-minute load screen once instead of a bunch of 45-second load screens just to get from the tower to the EDG. Just saying.
I don't know if you guys opened the stream on your phones, but I have chat open on my second monitor that I'm borrowing.
Oh, okay.
So you don't have to have it open if you don't want it open.
Oh, sweet.
Somebody play Aleister Black's music. I need it.
We can't. We'll get DMCA'd. You have to only hum 13 seconds or less.
By the WWE is gonna freaking copyright strike us.
If anyone's gonna copyright strike us, it's the WWE.
It would be CFO, wouldn't it? Not WWE?
I'm pretty sure WWE owns all rights to those freaking songs.
That, I am extremely glad that somebody, that somebody was shooting those things. Well, I made poor life decisions.
So, for those of y'all wondering, this is a Destiny-based podcast. And we usually start it off the same way every week with our segment called Tower Talk. Who wants to start Tower Talk this week, guys?
Someone besides me, because I have not played any Destiny.
I need more... here's the gun. I need more, quartz.
I actually haven't played Destiny at all this week except for Sunday, when I talked what a Gucci game was.
I think Daniel and I got in some Destiny time for the plan this week. I know TJ and David got us the PvP, engram for the plan.
Did they? Because I didn't have one. Maybe I have to reload back in.
That's because you got kicked from the clan. I forgot to tell you if you're not playing Destiny anymore.
Yeah, you can't kick me. I'm the fucking boss.
The mouse.
Oh, Rich, we started this thing when Trey says stuff, you mock him like that.
Okay.
I will nope the fuck out of here. I really can't. I have to leave the PlayStation running, but I will leave the PlayStation running and not participate.
That's no fun.
Yeah, you guys want to hear me? You guys want to hear me and Justin just mock the shit out of Trey for an hour and a half? Go watch this past week's Twin Stick Radio. It's pretty amazing.
Which is currently on this Twitch channel that you're watching on. So, if Destiny's not your jam, go do that.
Yeah, it's not your jam. Why wouldn't it be?
Yeah, I think TJ and David and I completed the Nightfall. Was it this week or was it last week? Hold on, let me check my director. Oh no, it wasn't the Nightfall. What the hell did we do then? TJ, David, and I did shit this week. They got the PvP engram, and I got my flashpoints and shit like that.
So, does anyone know the deal about the whole clan thing that's going on right now?
You just
get red engrams.
Yeah, you just get double XP for.
I heard people complaining about it I saw people complaining about it on Reddit. I mean, not that they're not complaining, not that they never don't complain about anything, but
I was gonna say, what is there to complain about?
Something about certain milestones just taking forever to unlock or just to complete.
A milestone?
Related to the Clarion Call. I don't really know the specifics. I had assumed that there were problems with the Clarion Call because people were complaining about it, which I shouldn't assume, I guess.
So I'm looking at our. How the fuck did I die?
You got shot.
I'm looking at our my milestone right now, and after what we just did, I'm at 14%.
I think I was looking at that too. It looks like it's pretty neat that it's different. Like it's set differently than your XP. I appreciate that at least.
Are y'all coming to Outskirts or Winding Cove?
We're at Winding Cove.
Oh shit, I'm at Outskirts. Okay, I'm going.
Is there something going on right now?
It was gonna start sooner than the Winding Cove one.
Okay, I'm coming that way. I'll come that way then too.
Oh god
So,
damn
yeah,
it! But I
we-
already went to Winding Cove.
So what
I'm going to the outskirts.
what's up with everybody? Why are we not playing Destiny?
Oh, we did play Destiny.
Yeah, I played Sunday. Monday and Thursday I had basketball, and I've been doing my best to try to catch up on stuff to watch for my other podcast, so I'd actually have something to talk about. So like I've been me and my wife binge watched Riverdale.
Uh-huh. I saw her talking
which
about
is-
that on Facebook.
It's a really good show. They take the Archieverse and just turn it dark as fuck.
Okay.
Sounds cool to me.
It is cool, and we've been watching like The Good Place and The Good Doctor and stuff like that. So we've just been watching a lot of TV.
Well, and Chris, you said you played Destiny, but
Yeah.
it's like a drastic difference between how you were playing it.
Well, that's because it's November and October and more games came out. I mean,
Yeah.
that's literally the only. I don't necessarily have like a.
Problem.
I'm not gonna please the redditors by saying Destiny's dead for me or anything like that. There's other things that ended up coming out like Assassin's Creed. Got back into GTA, GTA Online. Started playing that again with an old friend of mine. Stop moving. Yeah, it's just there's other games, especially Assassin's Creed. I'm two trophies away from platinuming that game, so there's no reason in the world why I shouldn't platinum it. It's just I have nothing against Destiny. If Assassin's Creed wasn't out, and for some reason I didn't get back into GTA, I'd still be playing Destiny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like I said, nothing against the game or anything like that. It's just other stuff came out. One of our friends let us borrow his Switch, so I was trying out Zelda. I'm gonna try out Mario Odyssey, but I haven't got around to it because somebody has been hogging the Switch. By somebody, I mean Whitney. Like literally, I think she's pretty close to being done with Zelda.
She
That's not an exaggeration at all.
she was up until 2 a.m., which is weird for her.
It is weird for her to be up till 2 a.m.
But yeah, I mean, I talked about my reasons last week, and they haven't really changed. I appreciate the fact that this is a game that I don't need to obsess about and play all the time to feel like I'm getting any progress with it. I like that I can put it down and jump in and do like this stuff when I have people to play with.
Yeah, and like I said, even if I still have fun with this game, no matter what I'm doing, no matter what I'm playing or anything like that. So there's no reason in the world why I shouldn't keep playing it. So I still have fun with it. I'm not burned out. Surprisingly, it's weird. Like, out of all the games I've ever played, I can easily get burned out with shit, and I'm just not burned out with Destiny, which I probably should be, statistically speaking, but I'm not. So.
Yeah, I also started playing The Last of Us because I actually have never played it. So.
You've never played that game, huh?
Nope.
Damn, dude.
I'm about 3 hours in. It actually. Did you know it actually, like, the beginning cutscene takes place near where we live, kind of?
Yeah, because we both have played it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes,
Not
I've
bad.
played The Last of Us extensively on PS3. So, but yeah, Assassin's Creed's
Cool.
good, guys. Go play it if you haven't.
So, was that it for Tower Talk?
I think it is.
We want to jump right into the. Hold on 1 second. Let me
Do
go
it.
this, okay.
A lot of
So there was
different
there was a live stream on Wednesday.
hooray! I was
Um,
first. I like Peach.
Yeah, he's a really good host. I think because I try to watch it during work, so I could have done like without the 10-minute intros for the devs that we've already met before.
We never met the narrative lead. I've
Yeah,
never
no.
met her before.
I think that's the first time. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't mean to like start a riot, but as far as I know, that's the first time that we've ever had a female developer on a Bungie live stream.
No, that's not true.
Oh, okay.
I don't think. I seem to remember there was she. God damn it! What did she do? She did. I don't know. I don't think that's right. It could be right. I have a terrible memory, but I seem to remember that. Or I could be remembering Warframe streams and.
That's true. As far as I remember, and I've watched most of the Bungie streams. Like I would say, like out of all the ones that they've done since Destiny 1, I've maybe missed like 3 of them. But you know,
those are the 3 with the women.
Yeah, they all had women on them.
Yeah, Trey.
I mean, and again, I'm not trying to start like a sexist right thing. I think it's cool that, you know, I think it's cool that there was a chick in it, and I don't think there's anything like weird or special about it. It's just, you know. Yeah, great conversation point. I'm sorry for bringing it up.
That hard.
But
Oh my goodness.
Rich, you died a lot in this event. I want you to know that.
I did was
Like,
because
you
I'm
died
trying.
a lot.
I'm trying to look at my phone at the same time as I'm talking to y'all, and
why are you looking at your phone?
because I have the rundown.
Oh, you know, you could just like step on a rock and move.
That's true, I guess.
Step on a Lego and scream.
Okay,
Ouch.
so did we get? Dang it! I didn't write down the names of the devs. Did either of y'all? Any of y'all?
Let's call them Sean and Chandra.
There you go.
I'm down with that. Sean and Chandra.
I mean, not to be a dick, but I don't really care. Yeah, I think
That's sort of the mindset I was at.
Yeah, not. I mean, I'm really not trying to be rude and say like what devs do isn't important, but it's like that. I wasn't watching the stream because of the devs. Like Deej could literally be anybody. I like the fact that it's Deej because I like Deej, but I would still watch it even if like, you know, Bob Marley's dead. If Bob Saget was like hosting it.
I would love to see Bob Saget host a Destiny stream. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Bob Saget now though, right? Not like 1990s Bob Saget.
No, he has to do it like Danny Tanner.
Oh. Oh my god. Okay, so
And
it started.
John Stamos is the guest host.
Oh my god. It started with the prelude cutscene, which I really enjoyed. What did y'all think about the prelude cutscene?
I think that any time that you get to see like other unnamed guardians running around and doing stuff I think that's always really cool. Of course, I mean like the Osiris stuff is cool. I don't want to take away from it, but I always love that shit where it's like, hey, these are just random guardians out doing their thing. I just love it makes the universe feel a little bit bigger.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it wasn't actually Guardians running the Vaulted Glass. It was
not.
It was the. Oh shit.
That was a Vex simulation in the Infinite Forest.
Yeah. What do they call it? Modified reality or something like that, right?
Yeah, something like that. But that was a simulation from the Vex.
Yeah, and Osiris just happened to walk in on it. Yeah.
That's pretty badass. But yeah, like at first, I do agree with you, Trey. At first, when you were like, "Hey, this is really cool seeing other Guardians do this," like I agree with you. I think it's really, really awesome. I love shit like that.
It's like also, that. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say also, how can that be like a manufactured reality?
We can get into Spinfoil in a little bit.
Okay.
I know exactly what you're gonna ask.
We definitely need to add a spinfoil section and like temper our conversation in the spinfoil section. Not to be a dick, but
I agree with that.
Me too. Okay, so let's keep going with the cutscene then.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome. I thought it was really cool to finally see Osiris and hear him and Sagira. I thought Sagira was really. When there was a point where Osiris grabbed her and said, "They can see your light," and he threw her into the portal.
Yeah.
The disparity in her voice just shows how great an actor she is. Marina Baccarin is, because you could really hear like when she was like, "Osiris, no," you could like hear, "Oh wow, she's really terrified." Like I can feel it. It's really cool. I like it when you can feel that.
Well,
Noah North does a fine job as Ghost, but you never feel like he is. I don't know.
He doesn't feel like a. I don't have a better way of describing this. He doesn't feel like a character. There doesn't really feel like a two-way relationship. Like they've done a lot to make me feel close to Ghost, but like the fact that he's not named and the fact that like really he doesn't do much except for like kind of direct you around it kind of makes him feel hollow compared to Segura.
Yes, yeah, I agree. Especially, like I said, just those moments with Segura where even when she's doing when she's moving the Vex's arms up in the simulation, it's like this is just a really cool moment. Like, she has more personality than our Ghost does already, and it kind of sucks because we're supposed to be the, we're supposed to be the anomaly in the Destiny Matrix. Even though Cyrus is more powerful than we are, we're supposed to be that guardian that changes everything. So I would think our Ghost is just as special as we are, but sometimes he's just not. Like I said, I love Nobot, but he's not as cool as Segura. So that's what I got out of that trailer. I fucking loved Osiris and Segura. Give me a second.
Oh, yeah. What did you think, Rich?
I was really excited, man. From the moment I found out that we were getting Osiris, I binged back into the Grimoire on what's that site called that I get my Grimoire from? Ishtar Collective.
Sunken Isles.
Huh?
Sunken Isles.
Oh.
Ishtar Collective?
No. He's telling us to go to Sunken Isles.
Oh, okay.
Damn it, Rich.
I'm already here. What do you mean keep up?
Okay.
But yeah, I mean the cutscene was cool. I enjoyed seeing. At first, like I said, I thought it was actually Guardians, and then I was like, nah, we'll get into that later. But the relationship between Segura and Osiris was something I'm really excited to explore more of once we reawaken her, because she's like down, right?
I mean, she got shot. And, ghosts are fairly fragile, so whatever. There was one of the cutscenes, not the one that they showed recently, but one of the cutscenes from the launch trailer. I don't think anybody really noticed until recently, but if you look, you can see Segura on Ikora's table in the tower, which is pretty cool.
Oh, that's it.
We'll see. We know they did say that the only way to somebody said the only way to open up the gate to the Infinite Forest is Segura. Like, she needs to be active, or whatever you want to call it. So I'm sure we're gonna reawaken her somehow.
Yeah.
Well, we don't get to see Mercury. We get to see the Infinite Forest in those times. It's technically two different places.
That's true.
But yes, I do agree with you. It is cool to see that it's going to happen. And that's where that procedurally generated... It's not procedurally generated. Let me take a step back. That's where the whole Infinite Force changing comes in. So, I mean, if Bungie's not lying to us, every time we go into the Infinite Force, it's different. Just not... One thing Bungie's super good at is crafting worlds, and so crafting random, tile sets that they can cycle between, I think, is a better idea than creating some sort of weird procedurally generated world.
But I know people were frustrated about that because there had been some rumor that it was going to be procedurally generated, but I can only really name like a handful of times where procedural generation actually works, and usually it's in like 2D indie games. So I kind of like the fact that that it's tile sets instead, because I just don't know that it would translate well in this game.
Yeah, I think the only game that I know of that procedurally generated works extremely well is Warframe. Every single map that you get in Warframe is procedurally generated. However, it's generated from already set tile sets. So you have like a section to fight in that was crafted for the battle. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
like, and the whole thing is procedurally generated, but for the most part, the tile sets are crafted for battle, and then those tile sets are put together by the game whenever you load a map, and every time it's different. So, but at some point in time, you end up learning the maps and the tiles so you can get around.
Yeah.
But that's like you said, that's the only game I can think of that's not like indie that works. Procedurally generated stuff works.
Yeah. Although I would.
So
there's an argument for Warframe being indie too.
Yes, good call. Yes, you no, you know what? You're right. That is as indie as indie gets. Yeah. They don't have a publisher and they do it all themselves. So yes.
Yeah.
100%
Sorry,
right.
not to be semantic,
Nope.
the semantic squad today, but
you're right.
So what did y'all think about that? It looked like a clock in the lighthouse where we get to forge the weapons of Mercury.
My initial thought was that it was really big, and the way that they talked about it in the stream was that it was supposed to be like, hey, you have a bunch of quests and activities to complete to collect all these weapons, and it seemed like a lot of stuff, like kind of maybe more than what we have, I guess, in base Destiny. So I'm curious to see what the actual amount of work you have to put into it is.
Did he say that every note is going to be a quest?
Yeah, they clarified a little bit. Every node is a weapon. Every node every node and every glyph represents a weapon. But each weapon, it's basically going to be like they're going to be missions to get those weapons. We're not going to be like, I don't think we're going to like, okay, I'll throw a screw in here and screw A here, screw B and screw D, and then I create a random weapon. You're just going to go finish missions, and then it's going to be like the Mida quest. You're going to go do a bunch of shit, and then you're going to forge the weapon. And there's going to be 12 different weapons, and the reason that this thing exists is because they're all Vex-based weapons. We're going to basically be doing what Osiris did to all his shit. Is we're going to we're going to be vexifying our weapons, which is fine. That's 12 weapons we can go do missions for, which is fine.
I like the look of Osiris's Vex stuff, like the Vex milk inside of his bracers and inside of that hand cannon that Deej was holding.
But that hand cannon, that's what we're going to be making.
Yeah.
You know, I doubt that it's going to be like we're going to get to choose perks or anything like that. I seriously doubt that's going to be a thing. It's just, we're going to go do a few missions and then make a weapon, and then there you go. That's how you get it. I'd like to see some of those nodes as exotics, not all legendaries. I think that would be awesome. I think it would be really, really cool to get a couple of those weapons as exotics.
Well, I mean, some of the most fun things to do when you hit in-game of Destiny are the exotic quests.
It's true.
And like it gives you a purpose, and gives you a reason to be doing a specific activity because you know you're getting a reward. So it'd be cool for them to lean more on that than RNG, which is there's a disproportionate amount of exotic RNG based weapons than there are quests right now.
Right, but I don't want 12 exotics coming from the same exact thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would want like 10 legendary weapons, because that would cover a scout rifle, an auto rifle, hand cannon. Give us one of each, and then give us 2 exotics. I think that would be really cool, personally.
Makes sense.
But yeah, it's cool. The lighthouse is cool. I've never been to the lighthouse before. I am one of those Destiny 1 players that have never been to the lighthouse.
Yeah,
so
me
really
neither,
cool
but my wife has.
Yeah, so it was really cool actually getting to see it. Even though it was a stream, it was just really cool getting to see the lighthouse, because I'd never seen it before. It really is, the lighthouse really is that mythical thing that not everybody's gonna see, and it was really cool to get to see it.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited to see what Brother Vance's engrams have.
They showed the armor is the armor that they showed off in the stream.
Oh yeah, the warlock armor.
Well, the warlock, the titan, and the hunter armor. Those armors they showed off in the stream.
Oh yeah.
That's the armor Brother Vance is gonna have. Weapon-wise, I have no idea, but that's the armor.
Yeah. So when Deej went to his directory, we saw that heroic strike playlist is a thing.
Thank fucking God.
Yeah, it's about damn
Chris,
time.
Yeah, y'all been asking for this for a long time because, like Trey said in our first episode, that's how we passed a lot of our time in Destiny 1.
Well, also because they had now to make this perfect is give us strike specific loot. Like if you want to fix strikes again to where people go and play them, give us strike specific loot, and give us strike specific loot that doesn't drop the first time we do it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like make us play a strike 15 times before we actually get what we want.
I did not enjoy doing that in Destiny 1.
That's because you suck. That's because you don't like Destiny.
Well, I mean, like I like. This is gonna sound really dumb because I talk about how much I hate RNG all the time, but I do like the RNG aspect of the strike specific loot because I never farmed it. Like I just wasn't interested in doing that. But when I did get strike specific loot, it was always a really awesome treat. You know, it was worth it just to be like, hey, I've been doing the strike playlist, and suddenly I got that, you know, the Taniks cloak, which I've always wanted.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what I mean. Like, give us a I don't know, a fucking 2% drop to get whatever we want at the last boss. That'll mean we'll have to run the strike maybe 20 times to get it. Like, I don't see anything wrong with that. But I also come from an MMO background more, so I'm used to spending hours upon hours grinding things trying to get what I want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did y'all see the recommended power level for the heroic strikes?
No, I didn't.
300, man. What
No,
the fuck?
it was 270.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking raid. Sorry.
Wait,
yeah,
really?
270. That's
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, 270.
So the heroic
you're still going to be able to blow through it super quickly.
Well, I don't know, because that's 270 is what the normal Nightfall is.
Yeah.
I mean, we blow through the Nightfall.
Yeah, the Nightfall's not a challenge. I mean, it was when we were 260 and 280, but that's actually, and they're raising the light level, right? Do you guys remember the number that they're raising it to?
They're raising the light level for the raid to 300.
But they're raising our overall
the cap,
light level, correct?
330 for normal, and then we're gonna be locked out of mods again until we hit 335.
Yeah. So what you're telling me is that, or so what Bungie's saying is, hey, you know, we're raising the light level, but a heroic level activity is considered 270. Like, really? I don't agree with that decision, and that actually makes me less excited for it, to be honest.
That can change though. Also,
sure, it can change, but it not to be that guy all the time on this podcast, but this is something that they've been sitting on for a while, so I don't understand how they can't get it right. But you know,
well, I mean, a perfect example is the streams before Destiny 2 launch. They were showing off light levels of like 350 for the raid, and that's not a thing that exists. So stuff can change.
We'll just have to see.
Yeah, I was hoping to see strike scoring come back when I saw that.
They also haven't finished their streams. If they're going to talk about strike scoring, it's going to be in this next one.
Yeah,
the first stream was them talking about what
story,
who we're going to meet and where we're going to go. The second stream, which is this Wednesday, is going to talk about what we're going to be doing. So if strike scoring is a thing and heroic strikes, whatever, they'll show that off there. And then the last one is gear. So we still don't know everything. And that doesn't mean, I'm not saying that they're going to do it. But we still don't know everything.
That would be nice if they did bring back strike scoring, because that was 100%. I liked it when they did it in the Dawning last year.
Yep.
They also announced what the new raid activity was. It's called a raid lair. It's still attached to the Leviathan, but we're going to a completely different part of the ship. He said there's going to be new puzzles, new encounters, and a new main boss, new final boss.
Yeah. So that door that's guarded by the 2 giant cabal, we're going to go behind that thing. which is cool.
Yeah.
The door before you even get to the Castello, we're gonna be going in there, which is cool. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, what do y'all expect when he said puzzles? That's what caught my attention. He said the word puzzles.
Well, I mean, every raid is basically, I mean, since the beginning, they're just different puzzle instances that you figure out, through the thing. So I don't know that I would expect anything too much different than what we already have. I think that, if anything, the fact that they say puzzles, that would lead me to believe that it's going to be more in line with the way that Leviathan is already set up. I mean, Leviathan is essentially exactly puzzles because there's no boss fight puzzles. It's just figuring out what to do in these weird instances. So I would expect something in line with that. I wouldn't expect it to go back to like Vault of Glass where it's all split up between bosses.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm actually, I don't know how best to describe how I feel about raid layers, except for I am interested in raid layers. I am like slightly disappointed that it's not like a new activity on Mercury. I'm slightly disappointed that we are going back to the Leviathan, but at the same time, the Leviathan's so huge, and in a lore standard and a lore perspective, I understand that. I understand how big it is, and I understand how we're nowhere near exploring the whole thing, with exploring the whole thing, or even like figuring out who all is inside the Leviathan. There could be a shit ton of Cabal that we don't even know about, super powerful Cabal that we don't know about, so, which apparently that's what they're going to be doing. So I'm cool with that. That all seems awesome and fun. But like I said, I'm a little disappointed that it's not some sort of new raid activity on Mercury, like a new setting.
Yeah, me too. And I was also super disappointed there was no mention of Saint 14.
If Saint 14 is in, if Saint 14 is in the DLC at all, they're not going to spoil it. That would be really silly. I wouldn't. We talked about this last week, and I wouldn't expect him to be in it, but it would be really dumb of them to spoil Saint 14 if he's in there.
Yeah, I agree. I just don't think. I think like last week, Saint 14 is such an obscure character that not everybody knows who he is. So I just don't see him being a huge. I just don't see him being in it. Maybe a nod and a mention to him, but I just don't see him being a character in it. But I don't know. I could be wrong. It'd be nice to be wrong. I went to the Sunken Isles, by the way.
Do y'all think we're gonna see? Do y'all think? Okay, not this raid layer for sure, but maybe the next one. Do y'all think we're gonna see actual Callus?
No. I don't think you need to see him. I think he actually works better as this weird, mysterious figure that's out there. And to be honest, like, I'm not entirely sure that we haven't seen Callus. I mean, they still haven't. Spoilers for the raid, I guess. We probably should have started with that. But you've had plenty of time to finish the raid, so maybe get over it too. But they still haven't really explained that whole Shadow Realm thing, and we know from the lore that came with the collector's edition that Callus is gone to the edge of the universe basically, and he's seen something that we haven't and that we don't understand. So that Shadow version of Callus could be Callus. They really haven't explained it, and the end of the raid doesn't explain it either.
Yeah.
Very true. I don't think we need to see Callus. I think don't kill the thing. Don't kill it. Don't kill it. Okay. I don't think we need to see Callus because I think where we left the Leviathan raid is a good. Trey and I we talked about this like last week or 2 weeks ago. How we don't like. Or Trey doesn't like that Bungie starts a story and doesn't finish it and never leaves it finished. But I think in my personal opinion, where we left Callus, I'm okay with it never being resolved until Destiny 3, when we actually get to see the darkness.
Well,
I think Callus's end game is the darkness, so I don't need to see any more of Callus, because I understand what he was doing, and I understand why he was here. So now the next logical step is the darkness.
Well, and I'll make this point, and then I'll get out of the way so Rich can say how he feels. Not to dominate the conversation, Rich. I'm sorry, but I also think that
don't be that dick guy. Come on.
I think one of the big problems with Destiny, too, is the fact that we've defeated every big bad that we have ever come in contact with, except for Callus, and at some point, the story needs to come to some meaningful crescendo. And if every villain that we've ever defeated is dead, like, how do you make that meaningful? Like, Callus would be cool if it's like, 4 or 5 years down the line, he suddenly appears in some big meaningful way towards, I guess, the end of this part of the story that they're trying to tell. So I think it's more exciting to be like, maybe one day we'll run into him.
Yeah.
I honestly don't think... I honestly don't think Callus is a big bad, though. He likes us, and he made that clear that he likes us.
I think you might be missing the point a little bit. I don't think Callus's story is over in Destiny 2. Does that make sense? I think that's a better way to put it. I think Callus's story's done and it's over. And now, as far as the Cabal goes, because that's what the Leviathan is, we need to worry about who else is in charge, and because the Leviathan's still there. Just because we defeated Callus, the Leviathan didn't just turn around and go home. It's still there. Yeah. And as far as we know, it's still eating Nessus. So we need to deal with that. And I think that's what the rest of the story is going to be, is us dealing with the Leviathan.
Well, but I do see your point, Rich, in the sense that I said big bad, and it's very possible that he's not a big bad.
I do agree with Rich there. I don't think he is either.
But in whatever way that he comes back into our story, I think it's more exciting if they give it a little bit of time.
Yeah, I think if you had a big bad, it would be whoever's in charge of the Taken, the Vex, and the Darkness. Those are your big bads.
That was going to be my next point. Do you think, going into the Underbelly, do you think he has Vex... Not Vex, maybe Fallen or taken prisoners down there in the Underbelly that we could possibly be fighting?
Well, what
the raid activity?
I think it's all going to be Cabal.
I part of what...
Trey, start over again, because for some reason, I lost you that whole first part.
Yeah, I lost you too.
Oh, one of the things that we know from the lore about Callus is that, about the Cabal, is that the Cabal is made up of different species. It's not, the Cabal's not one species. The Scions are a different species than the big guys we see, Centaurians and everything. So,
also, Callus's shadows are still out there.
But
Callus's shadows aren't all. I know there's a Fallen. One of his shadows is a Fallen.
Yeah, and they've talked about that in the lore a little bit. How there are Fallen that are a part of the Cabal. So it's possible that, and this is really out there, and I don't know that I believe this 100%, but it's possible that there are Vex that have defected to Callus, or that Callus has discovered a way to control the Vex.
I don't know about that one. Maybe.
Not control all the Vex, but to control a section.
That would be awesome. I think it'd be cool. I don't know if it works in with the whole hive mind thing, but it might. It'd be cool.
And I'm kind of hoping to, because I just don't want to fight the Cabal again. I don't like the Cabal. I think the Cabal are boring. I think Destiny 2 made them somewhat interesting, but I'm done with them. Let's move on.
Yeah,
I agree there.
I don't think that's the thing. That would be like I don't know. That's like we're not done with the Cabal story yet. So I don't know. It doesn't. I don't know.
Then let me rephrase it. I'm done with them for now. Let's do something else.
Maybe that's why I can play this game so much, because I honestly don't give a flying shit who the hell I'm shooting, as long as I'm shooting something. Maybe that's why I can play this game so long and not even care, because I don't care if it's a raid with Cabal. I really don't. I think it's cool. Just give me something else to shoot.
Maybe, but
I don't think, since they said that we're getting another raid lair in expansion 2, I'm struggling to see why they put Savathun in a strike if they're not going to expand on it.
Well, Savathun might be your next huge expansion. That might be your Taken King expansion that we get next year or the year after.
Or just, or it goes back to that thing I said last week, where it's like Destiny loves starting stories and doesn't always finish them. They get overzealous with the different things that they start. So I would hope that we would see her sooner rather than later, and I think it's more probable that we will. But at the end of the day, like it's not out of Bungie's character to mention something and then walk away from it for a long time.
Yeah, I think they're doing a better job, and especially with what you're talking about, Trey. These raid lairs are a perfect example of how they're fixing that. Because when we got raid activities, but we're going back to the Leviathan to finish that whole story. Like, I think these next 2 raid lairs are going to be, of course they're going to be set in the Leviathan, but I think that's going to finish the Leviathan story, and it's going to finish this whole Cabal story that they started with the Leviathan. And then once that next huge expansion comes out, then we'll get another raid, and then we'll get another 2 raid lairs. I think that's going to be their MO from now on. So at least that's my hope. I hope they finish. I think they're going to start finishing stories now, so that's just what it seems like to me.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Let's see here. The new raid power level will be 300.
Yeah.
So that means
raise light level 330.
Yeah. Do you think that's bad for casuals?
No, because
yeah.
I think one of the things that Bungie does with a lot, or anytime they release an expansion, is they kind of give new players, or casual players, quote unquote, easier ways to catch up with people like us. Like right now, getting to 305 is a huge feat, but I guarantee you that after Trials of Osiris, the Osiris DLC, that it won't be. It'll be nothing getting to 305.
Is it a huge feat though?
It was with your first character.
Because everything you do gives you shit to get to 305, and it wasn't a feat. That was just RNG working against me.
Well, I mean, it was for me. It still was 90 hours of gameplay before I got there,
Yeah, but it took you 2 weeks.
It took me a month.
Oh, whatever. It seemed like 2 weeks. It took a month and 90 hours of gameplay. That's not a lot for a game being out for a month. 90 hours of gameplay in 1 month is not a lot.
Yeah.
Even for a quote unquote casual.
I mean, it felt like a big feat at the time. I was very proud of myself. So maybe.
No. Yeah. I mean, sure. Yes, it was cool to get. It was cool to get your first character 305. Sure. And then if you want to call it a feat, yes, it was a big feat. But I don't think it's hard to get 305. Because everything that you do in this game contributes to your advancement to 305. It's not like you don't have to go do the raid, you don't have to do Trials of the Nine, you don't have to do Iron Banner, you don't have to do all these in-game activities to get to 305. So I don't think taking your raid level up to 300 is going to be a bad thing. I can almost guarantee you. Almost everybody in this game, I'd say like 75 to 80% of the people in this game are at least 290 to 300. And I'm going off of Whitney, because like I think Whitney's the definition of a casual in this game. She's never even finished the raid. And she's 297 or 298, something like that. So, no, I don't think 300 is bad.
Do you think it's bad, Rich?
No, I don't think. No, I honestly don't, because, like, I'm gonna go back. Like, I mean, look at y'all with Rise of Iron. Y'all really didn't care if y'all were max light, which was what it was with Rise of Iron, because you could still play the game if you're not max light. And I think as long as you can play most of the in-game activities, it's not that really a big deal to be max power level right now.
Right.
True.
Also, the raid is meant for people who are us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
the raid is meant for us, so raising the light level isn't we're gonna be there anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
By the time the raid comes out, or by the time this raid layer comes out, I'm sure there's already gonna be dudes at max 335. Like I guarantee.
Oh yeah.
So I don't think raising the light level or the raid level, whatever it's called, is a big deal. I don't think. Could be. I don't think.
What else was I'm going to the news section that you had here, Chris. You said there's going to be 3 new PvP maps.
Yeah, that was just some shit that came out during the week. There's going to be 3 new PvP maps in the Curse of Osiris. One of them is PlayStation exclusive, which is the Wormhaven one that we saw. And then I don't think they've named or shown the other 2, but there will be 3 new PvP maps in this expansion. Good amount.
Yeah, and that's exciting. I mean, I'm already getting sick of the maps that we go through right now.
Plus, we should get another one in the Dawning as well. From what I understand.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about the Dawning.
Yeah.
Trey, excited about the PvP maps, or you're meh?
Meh. I mean, I don't really feel like I don't play a lot of PvP, but I don't feel super familiar with the ones that exist now. So, I mean, new PvP maps and new content is always really good. I guess my main concern is how it's going to affect people who don't buy the DLC, and how that will in turn affect people who do. I'm just worried about splintering the community, or making it to where, people who don't have the DLC can't play PvP, which I don't think they'll do, but either way, I'm just a little worried.
Yeah.
Oh, you dicks.
The equipment Xur brings apparel is going to increase.
Yeah, they did say that in the news too.
So that's a good thing.
Yeah, sure. I mean, if you raise the light level, you got to raise vendor stock. Vendor stock's going to raise too. That's kind of a given.
Yeah.
So in other words, we're not going to hope that vendors drop at 300. They're going to be dropping around. I think actually they showed Brother Vance. He was dropping at 306 or something like that in the stream. So. All vendor stock is going to raise, which is good. Like I said, which is good. Good Lord, why am I getting shot at by everything? Oh, someone here. Holding makes sense now.
And there's going to be new ways to earn powerful engrams, which is good.
Yeah, they didn't clarify that very much. That was something that I read. Bungie has stated there's going to be new ways to earn powerful engrams. What that means, I have no idea. Literally could mean anything.
Yeah, 1 second here, I'm sorry. I don't know what else we could do to earn more powerful engrams. Maybe they can give it to us. I mean, the Flashpoint's already for public events. We have them for the Nightfall. Maybe Heroic Strikes, maybe...
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be... Since you're adding Heroic Strikes, I'm sure there's going to be a Heroic Strike milestone. And I think that's what they mean. I think when they add new ways to earn powerful engrams, I think it's just going to be new milestones. That's all. I don't think we're going to get, like, crazy gameplay differences or anything like that.
So before I go into the THWAB, do y'all mind if I read some leaks that could possibly be about the second expansion?
Let's do THWAB first, and then we'll just make that our spinfoil section this week.
Okay, that'll work. So when it comes to the THWAB New Monarchy 1, I'm rocking the sword right now, and my full Warlock armor set that I'm proud to rock.
Are you rocking that shitty ass sword?
Hey, I'm about to use the sword to kill the boss. Watch.
You can use a sword to kill any boss, but if I had my raid sword, I'd kill it faster, and have ammo left over.
Hey, let him play the game how he wants it.
Yeah, let me play the game how I want to, Chris.
Why you're a freaking noob, Rick.
If he wants to play it badly, that's on him. He has that right.
Get good. Hey, seriously though, I am glad somebody other than Dead Orbit won, like for real.
Yes.
I'm not knocking New Monarchy or anything like that. I am glad somebody other than Dead Orbit won. I was kind of hoping to be Future War Cult just because I wanted to see the fusion rifle. But like I said, I am glad somebody other than Dead Orbit won.
Yeah, let's end this season, man. Though, because I couldn't care less about Faction Rally this time. I'm ready for them to have some new gear and new shaders and add on I don't know, that crap that makes your armor shiny and better.
Ornaments.
Yeah. Like let's knock out this Iron Banner and get ready for the Dawning, because I think that would be motivation enough for me to come back and play. The DLC is just icing on the fucking cake.
Hey, I finished the Hawthorne thing. Speaking of Iron Banner returns Tuesday, which is dope. I love Iron Banner.
Yeah. I'm glad it's not Supremacy.
What is it
Yeah,
this
it's
time?
Clash.
Oh, that's cool.
Clash. Yep.
Shoot. Did they say if we're gonna start getting we're not gonna get the new Iron Banner stuff now, right? The new weapons.
No, it's all they haven't said, but I mean, I don't expect. Maybe a couple new weapons like they did with Faction Rally, but I honestly wouldn't expect a whole new set of armor or weapons yet. That I actually, to be 100% honest with you, I wouldn't expect that in Season 2 either. The new weapons, but I wouldn't expect new armor in Season 2.
Or we're getting the new armor ornaments, which totally changes the look of the armor.
Sure, but that's not new armor.
It was my understanding that they had confirmed that there was new armor in Season 2 during the TwitchCon stream.
Not for Iron Banner.
Yeah, Iron Banner's just the ornaments that change. It completely just changes the look of the armor.
Yeah, I mean, sure, but that's going to be it's still the exact same armor, right? You can put an ornament on it. Like, so I wouldn't expect new armor for Iron Banner in Season
2. Yep. This is going to be the last chance to get the Shades of Radagast emblem.
How do you get that?
You gotta get turn in 10 packages.
Okay.
So, yep, and then hotfix 1.0.7.1 on PC should fix Buffalo errors. I don't know what that means.
Yeah. Now fucking get back to PS4 and let us load into the goddamn tower.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I just don't understand how that's not fixed. I don't mean to be a douche. I'm gonna be a douche. Why is that not fixed?
Because they're concentrating on the new baby. It's like Trey said yesterday. Last week. PC is the shiny new toy. It's the new baby in the house. It's getting all the attention.
This has been a constant problem on PS4 since launch, and then they said they fixed it, but it's not. So, I don't know. It's just dumb. Also, on this one, guys, don't shoot. This is going against everything I've ever said, but shoot the small ones until we get to the third one.
Where are y'all?
Yeah. It's okay. Let's get through the thwob. Let's keep on track.
Oh, that was it. That was all. That was it with the thwob. That was everything.
All right. So.
It was a very minor thwob.
Yeah, it was tiny. Do we want to go spin foil now?
Yeah, let's get our spin foil hats on, guys.
All right, let's start with the point that I wanted to bring up with the prelude cutscene. How are the Vex all making an alternate reality with Guardians in it? I thought they couldn't do that.
That's the whole question that we're probably going to be answering in the story, dude.
Well, I mean,
Osiris turns to Severe and says, "They can see your light. You need to leave."
Yeah.
Somehow Vex, and I don't think it's a somehow. So here's my reasoning on this. What's the last fucking light? Here's my reasoning on this.
They already killed the big one.
But the event's not over. Oh, okay. I was just here. I didn't see this happen. Anyway. So whenever the Traveler woke up, that big pulse of light hit Mercury, and whatever happened, the Vex were able to I don't know what they do. The same thing they did with Cade. Like, they understand how Exos work now because they had Cade in that little time warp thing. The light hitting Mercury and hitting their base of operations, if you want to call it whatever, that made the Vex understand the light, and now they can see the light. Because the whole point of the whole point you're trying to make, Rich, is the Vex could never see your light. There's even an adventure in the game where you end up killing a Vex Hydra, and your ghost says the last thing that Hydra said was it's afraid of you because it can't understand you. It can't understand the Guardians of the Light. And so theoretically, the Vex shouldn't be able to simulate Guardians, but now they can because the Traveler's woken up, and that burst of light or that pulse of light, kind of tip the Vex off to how the light works. That's my theory.
Okay.
I mean, hopefully they explain it if they are simulating Guardians, but there's also kind of that. I think too.
What do you mean assimilating?
I said simulating.
Oh, I just said assimilating. I was like, I don't think they're taking the Guardians.
No. Yeah. But I think just because they haven't really explained, like, I would imagine that the Vex could make a simulation of something that is shaped and looks like a Guardian, but doesn't perfectly replicate how a Guardian acts and reacts to the world around them. So it's possible that that wasn't a true simulation, that it's as close as they can get.
Maybe, but then the Guardians wouldn't be chunking Nova bombs and activating Striker supers and stuff like that. Then, if that's the case,
yeah, I get.
They were doing that in the trailer. But yeah, maybe, I don't know. I just think the Vex understand the light now because of the pulse, and that's how because Osiris clearly tells Sagira they can see your light, and the Vex should not be able to understand the Guardian's light, and they can now. And I think that's what Curse of Osiris is going to be about. As much as we want Osiris to be the new speaker, I don't think that's what this is about. I think it's more of like, hey, the Vex understand this is bad. Real bad.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so I'm gonna...
To answer your question, that's foul. That's crazy.
Okay, so I'm gonna go into the leaks for the second DLC.
Where did these leaks come from? I just want to clarify because I think that we should like draw a hard line between an actual leak and speculation that someone is dressing up as a leak.
It's from Reddit, and they said the article starts off with it's unconfirmed and the user who created the post had his account deleted. There's no source, and there's a chance that it's just wild. But I read these leaks and they do make sense.
So this is a rumor, not a leak. I mean, we have no source.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. Again, not to play Semantics King, but I don't want to go into everything that someone says on Reddit being called a leak. I think that there's just a huge difference that we should take here.
Agreed.
Okay, so I'm gonna read the quote verbatim because it's an actual quote from the guy on Reddit. It says, "Destiny 2's second DLC coming with the expansion pass will be called the Tyrant's Crypt. It will be around the same size as the first DLC, but a little larger. And the description is as follows. With the Speaker's heresy revealed and the threat of a second faction war looming..."
Whoa. Spoilers for whoever hasn't finished their story of Destiny.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all.
Again,
Okay,
maybe
so
they've had... maybe, yes, we should go into spoilers all the time with a spoiler tag, but also maybe people should get over it.
But the reveal of it, but that's another thing too. The reveal of the Speaker's heresy, that hasn't been revealed yet. How the fuck did we find that out?
Also, I just say, like, not to derail us further, but I don't know that I would consider that heresy, and I don't think anyone else sees it that way. Like, he's a mourned character. He's not someone that, like, everyone hates because they figured out a secret. Also, we don't know that other Guardians know that, you know?
Oh, yeah. Well, nobody knows that. Nobody knows that
Sorry.
So, no, so, I mean, this is a discussion I guess we could totally have. I think to an extent it totally is a type of heresy, because it is very clear that people think he talks to the Traveler. That is extremely clear. And he knows it's extremely clear. But he's never corrected anybody. Like, that's definitely a form of heresy.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, to an extent, and you know, maybe he's not. I don't know. It's like a gray line, right? But that's like hell, if this is real, that's even spoilers for us. Like, nobody knows that. The only person he's ever told that to, the only people he's ever told that to are dead. Gaul's dead, and so is
the Consul.
The Consul. They're both dead. So
yeah.
Nobody knows about that. How somebody found out, or how that gets out, is that's news to me. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay, sorry. So, with Speaker's heresy revealed and the threat of a second faction war looming over the few surviving humans, Lord Saladin has found a way to prevent the coming of a second Dark Age, but it has a price. Go to the Manhattan nuclear zone, find the Warmind Caedmon, and steal from him the truth about what really caused the collapse. The new patrollable zone will be called the Manhattan Nuclear Zone. There is a new enemy type called the Boyar, B-O-Y-A-R. 4 new strikes, 4 new Crucible maps, 2 new Crucible modes, 1 new raid event, 1 new arena activity card called Charlemagne's Labyrinth.
What's an arena activity?
It says co-op / PvP up to 4 players in the fire team.
Anything else?
It says the Boyar are a collective of the Warmind's defenses. They include Splicer Fallen, Siva Frames, and Vitrel, fluid metal given shape by floating electromagnetics. The Manhattan Nuclear Zone is both the smallest and largest patrol in Destiny 2.
What?
Yeah. The remnants of the... I'm sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
No. At least if you're gonna lie, at least try to put some thought into it.
Yeah, just finish up with this, and then I'll spout off my opinion.
Okay, Charlemagne's Labyrinth is a 4-player arena. It takes place underneath the Asimov test site on Io, and is Charlemagne's weapons research facility. You descend into the labyrinth and the Warmind. Charlemagne sets you through many challenges, including both co-op and PvP, sometimes both, in a sprawling maze of Golden Age facilities that constantly change and do everything in their power to kill you.
Yeah, man. You know what, Trey, go ahead.
Yeah, I call bullshit. This sounds fake. This sounds fake as fuck. First of all, like, Manhattan Nuclear Zone, what does nuclear have to do with anything Destiny related? Like, that sounds like a stupid semantic.
Also, I mean, already there's only this is proven. There's only 1 Warmind per planet. There's not a second Warmind on Earth, guys. Period.
And we also don't know. I mean, again, maybe that's something they revealed, but like, as far as we know, and as far as like the lore is confirmed, like, it seems like Rasputin is the only Warmind that still works. Like, it's something that the Guardians have looked into and tried to figure out, because having a Warmind on your side would be just would give you a huge advantage.
We keep losing you a little bit, Trey.
That's right. Anyway, as far as we know, Rasputin's the only Warmind that is active still.
Yes, yeah. I mean, there are definitely hints that Charlemagne is active, but she's on Mars. That's why people think another expansion could take us to Mars. It makes sense. But the only other Warmind that we even could come remotely close to theorizing is still active is Charlemagne. And she's on Mars. She's not even close to her.
I just wanted to read that because I saw it like 3 or 4 different times on both my Facebook and my Twitter feed.
Well,
Also,
what do you think, Rich? I mean, not to,
I mean,
do you
the language
think it's
is
likely?
real shoddy on it. Also, I don't like a nuclear zone if it's on IO. I don't.
so we're not talking about Earth Manhattan. We're talking about something on IO.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's what y'all said. In that adventure, Ghost tells us that Rasputin is the only war mine.
I mean, the reason they're calling it the Manhattan Nuclear Zone is because the Manhattan Project was when they developed nuclear warheads.
Okay.
That's why it's Manhattan. That's what the Manhattan Project was. So if you're going to call something nuclear, Manhattan just kind of goes with it. And since this is since this is technically the future of real world, the Manhattan Project had to have happened. So that might be where the nuclear comes from.
Okay.
Just to clarify that. That still doesn't justify that this thing is anywhere near like. Also, let's be 100% honest. Bungie's never going to do a PvEVP anything.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen. Bungie will never. Well, no. Bungie will never do that. 343 did it with. I was going to say, well, Halo 5 did it, but that was 343. Like, I just don't see Bungie ever doing a PvEVP anything. I
And
could
also
be
the
wrong.
title
But I
doesn't
don't
really
see
make
it
sense either. Who would the tyrant be in the tyrant's crypt?
What the fuck is the crypt?
Yeah, that's what I'm
the
saying.
War Mine Vault.
Maybe
Yeah, and then the tyrant could be Rasputin. I have no idea. I'm just not trying to play devil's advocate. I'm just thinking logically.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
All of it
Like,
sounds very cool, and because it does like that. All of that sounds really neat. I'm not gonna lie. Like that would be really cool to have some sort of event where you're fighting this war mine fallen, and all of a sudden you run into a second fire team, and for some weird reason you have to fight that fire team. Like that sounds stupid and against everything lore and Destiny. But it's
Planet Destiny shared that article that I was reading.
And then also to Bungie's credit, like I love this game and I love Bungie, but they're not capable of coming up with something that cool.
I mean, that also, like, it says, like, hey, it's going to be slightly bigger than, the Osiris DLC and all that, but that DLC sounds bigger than any...
Huge.
It doesn't sound as big as Taken King, but it sounds significantly bigger than anything we've seen from a $20 or $30, DLC.
Yeah. And also it says a new raid and we've already gotten confirmed we're not getting a new raid with the expansion 2. We're getting a raid lair.
Yeah. Way to go, guys. And like I said, if you're gonna lie, at least try to be better at it. God damn.
Yeah.
I just thought it was interesting, especially since Planet Destiny shared it.
Yeah, but maybe I don't know.
That's all I got. What about you guys?
Good for me, yo.
Yeah, I think we've spin foiled ourselves out these last 2 weeks.
I think we've lost all spin foil because of that article.
Do you have a lore tab? I feel like it's been a while since we've had a lore tab. I know there's been a lot of news, but
Well, we're gonna do a lore tab when Osiris comes out.
Yeah. I'm working on it right now. I'm getting the Grimoire from Destiny 1 and what we know so far in Destiny 2. I'm trying to compile all that the same way that I did with Callus.
well, next week. I mean, we're pretty much like towards the end of the show, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So as far as next week goes, when the live stream's on Tuesday, Wednesday.
1 p.m. our time.
Do you guys think that we should do it on Wednesday? That way, or we should record on Wednesday? That way, we can just kind of take that Thanksgiving weekend off.
At this point, I could set my watch by them.
Do you need that Thanksgiving weekend off, sir?
What's up?
Do you need that Thanksgiving weekend off for some reason?
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice to like relax and like
Then yes, if that's more the reason, then yes, we do that.
because we can't skip next week. We can't skip when there's a Bungie stream because they don't happen often. But it'd be nice to knock it out a little early.
Yeah, that's fine. That's yeah, yeah. I'd rather you just say, yeah, hey, I'd rather have the region off. Like, I'm totally down for that. But if it's
That
just
sounds
to
good to
have
me
it after,
too.
if it's just to have it after the stream, like, oh, there's no point to just have it after the stream. Because there's a shit ton of news that always comes out after the stream. The day after the stream, Bungie releases stuff. A couple days after the stream, their Twitter feed comes out, the blog comes out, and all that other stuff. So
That, and we're gonna get apparently the embargo is being lifted on Wednesday too.
Well, one of the embargoes being lifted.
Yeah.
There's
Hey.
3 different embargoes.
Yeah, because there was an embargo that was lifted on this last Wednesday. We already had people coming out and talking about, which I guess, to cap off like a final conversation. We have some, press went out and got to check out, the new expansion, and some people are saying, hey, like this, they got to play through the whole story. And some people are saying, hey, the story is really good. And other people are saying, hey, the story is not awful, but, not too far off of what we saw with Rise of Iron or House of Wolves and stuff like that.
I mean, it's like Chris texted us and said, nice that Sean used the term beefy for the story.
Yeah, I mean, there's YouTube personalities. Granted, those guys aren't journalists, so I get it. But YouTube personalities are saying that it was great. Like Mrs. Sean said, he really enjoyed it. More Console said he really, really thought the story was amazing. And one of the guys from IGN said that he felt it was flat. And the problem with that is like they had like a couple of hours to rush through the story, and it's like, you know, I feel like any story would be pretty damn flat if you were made to rush through it. Plus, I don't mean to sound this. I'm gonna sound like Trey here, real quick. No offense, Trey. But the guy who wrote that article for the last like 3 weeks has had nothing positive to say about Destiny. And as if it were me and I had nothing but negative things to say about a product, I still wouldn't be able to say positive things about anything, personally, if I was being negative on it for the last month or so.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I have no clue.
I've seen.
It's one of those things. It's one of those things we just have to play it ourselves and figure it out. That's all.
Yeah, I've seen other journalists talk about it and say similar things to Destin Legarie, and even with Destin, like, I don't think he ever says like, hey, it's not good. It's just it's not what he was hoping for, and I think that's a sentiment that I've seen, and I think we do need to play it ourselves and form our own opinions. That's obviously important, and that's our job. But I also think too, like we talk about this on Twin Stick Radio all the time, like. Chris and I have done not like been flown out to Activision or to Bungie to, play something, but we've sat down with developers and played their games. And there are games that I absolutely loved in a demo setting. I don't think I've ever had a bad demo before. And then I go home and play it and I'm like, I don't really like that. So I always think it's notable when any gaming journalist comes back from an event and they're like, they don't have like a glowing preview. I think most previews that I read, and from my experience of doing previews, most people come back and they're kind of high because that's kind of what a preview is about. The developer's there to show you the best parts of that game so that you can go and share it with people. They don't want you to have a negative opinion because that affects, who's going to buy it. So that's the only reason why I thought it was notable.
Yeah, totally. But that's another thing. It's like it's all differing opinions, right? Destin says, it feels kind of flat. But all these and granted, like I said, they're not journalists or YouTube personalities, but these are also YouTube personalities that still love this game. That still put as much time in this game as I do, or as Rich does, or any more, probably more. And they play this game that more than we do. And I kind of like, me, I like to stay semi-optimistic about this game. And if a YouTube personality that has put way more time into this game than I have is enjoying the story, I think I can enjoy it too.
Well, and I think at the same time there's a certain degree of, does it matter if the story isn't great? Because I don't think it does. I think I established over the course of the episodes that we've done, like I think I've established that I appreciate the story and the lore in Destiny, but that's not why I come back to it. Like, gameplay is king for this game. And if the story is not great, but the content is beefy and it's worth coming back to, that's good enough.
Yeah, exactly. And if you listen to this week's Fire Team chat, they actually talk about it. And this is not anybody's fault, but this is I don't know how, because like we talked about last week, Bungie is amazing at putting a narrative in place that sets up great stories, but they suck at telling those stories in that narrative.
Because they just do too much.
So I don't see how anybody is going into any of these story-based DLCs in Destiny expecting something like The Last of Us or Uncharted. And if you listen to this last week's Fire Team chat, Sean Finnegan goes really deep into like what he's expecting. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, when have you ever seen that from Bungie? Ever. Never. We've never seen amazing storytelling from Bungie. Halo is a great world. Destiny's a great world. But we've never really seen like the level of storytelling that you would see from like Naughty Dog or something like that. You know what I mean? We've just never seen it. There's some great stories to tell. They just suck at telling it. So I don't understand where people get the idea that this is going to be like, like an end-all be-all type story. It's like, you guys need to temper your expectations or get them more realistic. That way you're not disappointed.
Man,
I think that's where Destin's coming from. I think he went into this expecting something huge, like taking King. Maybe, I don't know. And he just got disappointed, and that sucks. Like, I would hate to have that expectation.
It's always nice when we come back to a conversation, after having it, and you agree with what I had said the week before, because I sit here and I sound like a negative Nancy, and it sounds like I have nothing positive to say about this game. That's not the case. But you two, I love you to death, but when it comes to Destiny, the two of you guys are hopeful idiots. And you guys always want to believe the best thing, and it's not. And of course, I always want the best thing to happen, and I don't want to. I don't want to say that it never will happen. But I'm just a big fan of like, let's look at what we've gotten before, and expect something like that, just maybe 10% better instead of 100% better and 100% different than what we get.
Yeah, like I mean, yeah, maybe. I don't think I necessarily consider myself a hopeful idiot.
Just in terms of Destiny, to be clear.
Even then, I don't think I am. I think the craziest thing I thought was maybe we get a Vault of Glass remaster. And other than that, it's like I don't expect much from this DLC. I just don't. I'm glad we're getting a bunch of shit to do, but like I've always said, I don't think it really matters what they put. At least for me, I don't think it really matters what they put into Destiny. But I'm still gonna play it. I mean, look at me right now. I'm still jumping around doing heroic events over and over again, and I'm having a shit ton of fun. It doesn't matter what you give me to do in Destiny. I'm still gonna do it. And I think I don't think there's a lot of gamers out there like there is. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of gamers out there like me, but I don't think the majority of Destiny players are like me. I think the majority of Destiny players need that end game, and they need that. I need something to grind for, and I need a good, an amazing story being told to me, and I need all this other shit. And it's like, well, you're playing the wrong game. This is. The things that you need, Destiny's never going to give you. So I don't understand why you're playing this game in the first place. Because the things you need, you didn't even get in Destiny 1. And I don't know what you expected to change in Destiny 2 to get you your things that you need. So it's more of a, I'm just going to have fun no matter what the hell they give me. I do like to not procrastinate, do like to put the spinfoil hat on and try to guess and do whatever that too. But yeah.
And going back real fast, I did not mean the word idiot. I've called Chris a lot of names before. I've never called him an idiot before, and I feel bad for using that word, even though I didn't mean it like in the way the idiot is. I could have chosen a better word.
You mean an endearing term, hopeful idiot.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like an 8-year-old who still believes in Santa Claus.
Yeah, I mean, you said idiot, and I was like, that sounds a lot harsher than I meant it. But yeah, like an 8-year-old that believes in Santa Claus.
Yeah, exactly. Or a 13-year-old that still believes in Santa Claus, like, oh, that's so sweet, type thing.
Yeah. Rich, how do you feel about all this?
I mean, I'm pretty much in the same mindset as Chris. I like to put my spinfoil hat on, and I hope for the best, but I realize we're not going to get it every time or most of the time. But whatever happens, I'm always going to be playing this game.
Yeah.
It's a lot. I take Destiny the way I take wrestling. I know what to expect, but my hopes and my expectations are always going to be super high.
Yeah, I mean, dude, like I'm more passionate about wrestling than I am Destiny, and you can hear me and Rich have a conversation about wrestling, and it literally sounds like we're yelling and pissed, and everything in the world is bad because they're getting everything wrong, and continuity's not there, and why the fuck is Finn Balor in mid card and not fucking in the title hunt? Why the hell is Brock Lesnar still here? He's a fucking part-timer. God damn it, why WWE do you do this shit? That's literally what Rich and I sound like when we talk about wrestling. But at the same time, we were late to the podcast because we were enjoying the shit out of NXT's War Games. And tomorrow night, when Triple H's music hits for the Raw Survivor Series team, I'm gonna mark the fuck out because I haven't got to see Triple H walk down that ramp on a pay-per-view in over a year. So I am beyond looking forward to seeing Triple H walk down that ramp.
Well,
but yeah, it's the same thing.
I think too, like, about tempering expectations and kind of that role that I'm constantly like pigeonholing myself into. I think that, like, when you set up for big drastic changes or you set up for behavior that we haven't seen before, it takes away from the accomplishments that they do get. I mean, I think that over the course of Destiny, I think we lost Rich.
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Someone left the fire team. Did someone? Someone may
left
have
the fire team. Didn't go into the tower.
Oh,
I didn't go to the tower.
I have 3 bright engrams.
You can take me with you, Rich. But I think with every release, Destiny is improved on the product by some margin. In some cases it's like 5%, in some cases it's like 20%, but all of that adds up into the product that we have now, which is substantially better than the project that we started with. It takes away from the bigger picture when you're expecting everything to be the perfect expansion of the perfect game when it comes out.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing, I just don't understand why anybody would. We keep hearing this argument from everybody in the Destiny community. We hear this argument of we had all these things in Destiny 1, and then Destiny 2 ended up taking like 5 steps backwards. And it's like, you had 3 years of development for Destiny 1. So in no way, shape, or form can you expect a Taken King size expansion in the first expansion in Destiny 1 and Destiny 2. You just can't expect that. You can't expect it because it's not realistic, and it's not. I just don't think it's doable for a development team, even if it's Bungie. And that's the thing, is like, people's expectations get so crazy and out of hand that when something actually does come out, like you said, it's like, oh well, this is disappointing. It's like, actually, it's not disappointing. It's actually really, really good. It's just you hyped yourself up too much and you thought it was disappointing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
Oh.
Hello?
Anyway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Do you want to close this out, Rich?
Yeah. Thank everybody for listening. If you like the show, follow the guys on Twitter at Chris. You can find Chris on Twitter at ShortChangeHero. With the 3 instead of an E in Hero, you can find Darth Trey at Darth Trey. The Darth Trey or Darth Trey? I'm sorry.
Darth Trey. Yeah, I mean,
Trey,
I'm
there you
the
go.
Darth Trey on PSN if you guys want to add me, but it's just Darth
Oh my
Trey
God,
everywhere
if
else.
if you put an A at the end of that, you're the old lady from Knights of the Republic 2.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Kreia. Never mind.
Oh, it's funny because
well-
I knew that, and I have such faith in your knowledge of Star Wars that I just agreed with you. And,
Well, I also
and then I
corrected
immediately
myself
was like,
pretty
"Wait, that's
damn
not
quick.
right."
Yeah, yeah, I corrected myself pretty damn quick. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Heard about what you folks do.
You can follow me at eclectic. I mean, I'm at Rich Needs Res now. God damn it, I'm tired. I'm
damn,
sorry.
Rich, what the frick?
I don't know, dude. I'm
Your own
tired.
damn name?
Yeah, I know. You could, if you want to watch the recap of the show or want to watch the guys on Thursdays, you can watch them at twitch.tv/twinstickradio. You can find their past 118 episodes on iTunes and Google Play, and you can follow my other you can follow my podcast Read Between the Panels on SoundCloud and iTunes as well. Is there anything else I'm forgetting, guys?
No, but you guys should totally go watch our latest episode of Twin Stick Radio. We did a little test stream again this last Thursday, and the show was good as always. But we also played Mario Kart afterwards, and shenanigans ensued.
I mean, that might be my favorite Let's Play or live stream that we have ever done over the course of Twin Stick Radio history.
Even more so than the Smash Brothers one.
By far, and the Smash Bros. One was my favorite before that. It is so fucking funny. Like it's just funny.
We had a lot of fun on that Smash Brothers stream. As soon as we figured out, and this is a little teaser, as soon as we figured out the noises Toad makes in Mario Kart, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, but you guys should seriously join us every Thursday. I think I've never not been proud of something that we've done at Twin Stick Radio, but I really think that some of the best content that we've ever made is happening right now in those test streams, and it makes me really hopeful for what the show's going to look like in January.
Yeah, I agree. They're coming out really well. We're still playing around with some shit, but they're coming out really well. And like I said, I'm with Trey. I'm really proud of what we're doing, especially since we're just getting into the whole live streaming thing. I think it's turning out really, really well. So.
And all that stuff, and I'm not trying to be sappy and dumb because I complimenting Chris is my least favorite thing in the world, but Chris and Everett have they're amazing. They're an amazing team, and they have really good synergy, and they've made awesome stuff happen that would have taken me 6 months to a year to figure out on my own. So,
I would also just like to make a quick statement. I have 2,064 weapon parts.
damn, dude. At this point, are you just trying to figure out the cap?
Legendary shards. I have 1,286 legendary shards as well.
My God.
I played this game way too much.
I'm gonna throw something out there too. Me and my co-host of my other podcast watched Justice League today, and if you want to know our opinions, we're gonna do our review tomorrow. But the first half will not be spoiler heavy, but the second half of the podcast will be spoiler heavy for Justice League and Stranger Things season 2.
Sweet.
So
I'm totally down for listening to that.
It'll be live streamed on Facebook.com/ReadBetweenThePanels, and we are going live probably around 8:30 or 9 a.m. tomorrow.
Awesome.
Man, that's real early, dude. What the frick?
Yeah, so that's it.
Sweet, man.
All right. Well,
All right, guys. We'll
see you
thanks
next
for
week.
listening. Yep. Guardian down.